What's going on, everybody? We are back here at the Fryar Place. I'm Irving Fryar, your host. This is where the conversations are fire. We got a great guest tonight. Yep, we had to hold off from last week, but he is in the house. He is in the house. In case you don't know who it is, and we're going to get right to him because he doesn't have a whole lot of time, but in case you don't know who he is and you've never seen him play before, because somebody, we're in 2024 now, and he and I played back in the day when football was really football. I'm going to show you some highlights before he comes on. Check this out. Look, he smiling. I knew I was gonna get you with that, man. He's smiling, watching himself. Listen, y'all.
Only thing I ain't like about that.
What's that?
The music. I need some like Hammer, like two.
Well, listen, I took that off of YouTube. So what I do to get away with that is I change the music. Because if I keep the music on it, then I get flagged. So I have to change the music and put something crazy on there. And I know it sounded kind of punk rockish or a little rock and rollish. Yeah, but it's all right. I know you need some bass, but they can see the rhythm in your flow while you're running the ball. But y'all listen, this is my dude right here, Eric Dickerson. I just want to give y'all some stats real quick because this cat is unbelievable. When I went back and I studied, knowing that he was going to be on the show, I went back and looked at his stats. Unbelievable. 11 years in the NFL. That's right. 11 years, right?
Right.
Huh?
11, right.
Yeah, 11 years in the NFL. Right. First round draft choice, 1983. That was the year before me with the Rams. He was the second pick in the NFL draft. Played with the Rams, the Colts, the Raiders, and the Falcons. 5-time All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler, 4-time NFL rushing yards leader. NFL 1980s All-Decade Team, NFL 100th Anniversary All-Time Team, Colts Ring of Honor, good God. Number 29 has been retired by the Rams. Most rushing yards in the season, 2,105 yards. Most rushing yards in the season by a rookie, 1,808 yards. Boy, you was killing it. Most rushing yards in a playoff game, 248. Good God almighty, boy. 248 yards in a playoff game. Straight out of Sealy, Texas. Eric Dickerson, y'all. Come on, put your hands together. Give him a hand clap. What's going on, man?
You got it. What's happening, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I was looking, like I said earlier, I was looking, and y'all put in the comments. We got a bunch of folk watching right now. Keenan Harmon, Walter Ray is watching right now. Richard Melton, Stuart Winrow, Monte Weaver, Vincent Capriati. Listen, y'all put in the comments right now and let me know. I was telling Eric that, we kind of look like Ken. If I shave my beard off, we kind of look like we could pass for Ken, or if he grew a beard, we kind of look.
I grew a beard, right?
Listen, what you up to these days, man? What you doing?
Oh, man, I got two young kids. I got an older daughter and I got a granddaughter. My oldest daughter, Erica. My granddaughter's name is Irie. I got a young daughter, 18, that's looking possibly to go to my school, SMU. She just got her acceptance day before yesterday to attend that. She's
Congratulations. Yeah.
go there. And I've got an 11-year-old son. Both of them in the sports, but they run track right now. I went to the track meet yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But just raising my kids, and I do radio here in LA during the
Mm-hmm.
football season. Do some television on Super, mostly radio, and I work for the Los Angeles Rams.
All right. Listen, 18-year-old child, 11-year-old child. Listen, I know you're like a year, maybe two older than me. I'm 61 years old, Doc. I don't have no 11. My youngest child is in their 30s. All of my kids are in their 30s. What is going on? What
Man,
you doing?
I started late again.
You started late again.
I started late again. I started early. I went early. From a girl I dated, but my girl now, man, we've been together for, well, I think 25 years. We've been
Wow.
together. We got two kids. I mean, I swear, you know, I say this for all you mothers out there, you good moms out there, man. It's nothing like having a good mom for your kids. I mean, I've got the best mother in the world for my kids. Even my oldest daughter, her mom is good, but my youngest kids, I mean, their mom she's a go getter. She's a redhead. She ain't putting up with no mess.
She
So
keep you straight. She keep you straight.
I was on the phone with her when you called. She's got a problem. One of the teachers over there with my son, and man, it's just but it's life. But everything's good. I gotta say, I thank God everything's good for me.
That's good, man. When I saw you at Jaw's cigar event at the Super Bowl, you look good, man. You look good. You're moving good. Looks like you're healthy. You're holding up all right physically.
Oh, brother. Well, I'm gonna say I'm like most guys. Beat up, can't sleep most of the time. Uh, you. I would like to say I couldn't play football. I would say, don't let the smooth taste fool you. Let's put
That's
it
what I
like
say
that.
too. I say the same thing.
Don't let the smooth taste fool you. Bro. It's just a look. That's all. It's just a look. It's like a prop. You got a prop standing up there. That's
Right,
it.
right. Well, I mean, you played hard. We played old school, bro. We came up at the same time. The game was different back then, but you didn't get hurt often. You had a couple of injuries, but you were on the field all the time. You were a workhorse. What did you do to condition yourself? What kinds of things did you do, and what kind of mentality did you incorporate into your game or maintain in order to stay physical like that? Because you weren't just an elusive kind of back. I saw you stiff arm guys and lower the shoulder and run over people. So you were old school back.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, back in those days, I mean, guys, they want to play the position. They want to be on the field. I want to be on the field as much as possible. Like, I didn't miss my first game until I think like the middle of my seventh year. I missed a game. I had to miss a game because
Wow.
I pulled a hamstring uh, playing. But I stayed in good shape. I tried to stay in good shape. Man, if I'd have had the stuff they have now, all the workout and all the diet, like the nutrition and all that. Oh,
But
Irving, I'd have been killing it.
But you
But
know
man,
what I think they do? I think they do a little bit too much of that stuff. They really, because when we stopped playing at the end of the season, we took some time off. We took
you
time
had
off.
five. You had 5 months off. You had the 5 months off, and
Right,
I
right.
give you that.
Yeah.
I agree. I
But I,
agree.
but I think some of the soft tissue, because they don't practice in training camp, they get soft tissue injuries. I don't understand what in the world that is. What a soft tissue injury. I never had that before. Only injuries I've ever gotten is because somebody hit me or from some contact. But this soft tissue stuff they get, I think it's because they do all of this extra stuff during the off season instead of actually taking time off. But you're right. You were tough, man. You were. How did that start for you? I mean, you're out of Sealy, Texas, a cow town. I did some history on it. It's a cow town. You were chasing cows. You used to chase cows. Admit it. You used to chase cows, didn't you?
Well, I used to chase cows. The thing we used to chase most is rabbits. We used to chase rabbits.
Okay.
Because really people don't realize this, but a rabbit, like a cottontail, is not fast. It's just quick. It can cut real fast, and you could chase those down and grab them by the ears. But
Wow.
a cow, we used to chase cows and cow tipping and all that kind of stuff. You had to be careful doing that kind of stuff. But I'm from a small town. I'm from a town of 2,000 people. I mean, it was about 50, I think 50 to 60 people in my high school graduating class,
Mm-hmm.
and I was blessed. I got to say, I always give all the glory to God that I was blessed with a talent and I always say that was second to no one's. I mean, my talent I put against anyone's talent when I was playing football or running track or whatever, because I knew and wanted to always be the best. That was my thing. I didn't want to be second best. I didn't want to be one of the guys. And it wasn't
Hmm.
about getting in the paper, it wasn't about having your name in the paper. It
Right.
was about showing how good you were. And you
Hmm.
probably felt the same way. I want to show you how good I really am. I mean,
Right.
when I got to SMU, I was the most number one recruit in the nation. It was me, Elway, and Marino.
Yep. Number
And
one coming out of high school. Number one running
right,
back.
Greeley High School. And when I got there, it was some struggles. I mean, and I was telling all these young kids, you come out of high school, you think you're ready to play. I did too, but you're really not. Most of the time, you're not ready to play
Hmm.
college football. I
Hmm.
really wasn't. My first 2 years, I struggled a little bit. I struggled quite a bit. And then by my junior and senior year, it clicked. I mean, my senior year, man, I can tell you, it was sometimes I felt like man, I said, they can't run with me. I'm too big for them. I'm too fast for them. I mean, I just felt like that. I mean, a guy told me, he said, Eric, he was a defensive lineman, and he got a like some guy, not a holding call, but penalty like after the play. I mean,
Uh huh.
after the play was over, roughing the passer play,
Uh huh.
and I think they picked up a first down. We played the Houston Cougars,
Uh huh.
picked the first down, and somehow we ended up getting the ball back. They kicked the field goal, and I forgot the story, but he reminded me of this. Eric, he said, "I'll never forget it, man. You told me don't worry about it. I got you." And 2 plays later, I think I had a 68-yard touchdown. So, man, like I said, it was a blessing for me to be able to play
But
football.
but you were like a stallion, bro. I mean, defensive backs had to make a business decision as to whether they were going to try to stick their hit in. I mean, because people, and I heard you say this. People said that you ran straight up and down, but you didn't run straight up and down until you got loose and you were
Right.
outrunning people. But when you were
That's
going through the hole, when you were still had bodies around you, your center of gravity was pretty low and your shoulders were bent forward, and you were able to get up underneath people if you needed to. But I'd watch your stuff, man. And I knew about you. Obviously, I was playing at the same time as you, but as I go back and watch your highlights, man, you are arguably the best running back to ever play the game. And I'm going to say that from my own experience, playing with guys, having played 17 years, watching running backs. Man, Cat, you were the man, Doc. You were the man. When did you make a decision, or when did you know that you were a football player? Because I'm sure you were a 3 or 4 sport athlete.
right, right. I played all sports. You got that right. They don't do that anymore.
Hmm.
And I ran track and I played football. Those were my two sports. And I wish I'd ran in college. And I only reason I didn't run in college, lazy. No, I gotta say, just being lazy. I mean, I wish I'd ran. I regret that so much not running in college. But yeah, we had a great college football team. We had a great track team in college. So we
Uh
had,
huh.
and I was fast, and I was like the fourth fastest guy on our football team. We had some
Okay.
really fast guys.
Hmm.
But I guess for me, I would say when I was a senior, my senior year in college, I knew I was good. And the killing part about it is I didn't realize, but I would get drafted. I didn't,
Hmm.
it wasn't like it is now.
Right.
I went my old teammate Harvey Armstrong to play for the Eagles and the Colts. They were coming to town to play the Cowboys, and he said, "Hey, Eric, I want you to come over to your apartment. I want you to meet Wilbur Montgomery, because the Eagles have been asking me about you." I said, "Really?" I mean, I'm like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." So I go over and I meet Wilbur Montgomery. Man, I didn't realize how short Wilbur was. Man, I'm like, he was
Wil-
my back. I like to watch Wilbur play.
Will was short. Yeah, he was short though. He's
He's a
short.
short guy, but he can
Yeah.
run the rock. He used to kill the Cowboys, so I love Wilbur Montgomery. And he told me, he said, "Man, they talking about drafting you. Said you're gonna be a first round draft pick." I'm like, and I was like, "Really?" I said, "So what does a first round draft pick make?" I mean, I had no idea. I had no idea until later in the season, then all the media and all that stuff kind of started talking about me getting drafted. But that was kind of the first time that I felt that I have a chance to play professional football. Now, when I got to my shot at playing in the pros with the Rams, um, I knew that I was big. I knew I
Hmm.
was fast. I could run. I could run with little guys. I could cut. I could do anything that the little guy could do.
Right.
Um, I just wasn't sure about the game yet. Like I think a lot of us, probably you too, it's the same
Hmm.
thing. When you first get out there, you're just not sure about the game. The speed of the game is way different.
Right.
Uh, and it took me like a few games to get used to it. I
Yeah, a
wasn't
few
starting
games.
out.
Negro, you had 1,808 yards your rookie year. Talking about a few games. Took me a
Well,
few
it
games to
did.
get
I mean,
used to it. Well, it took you a few
I
games to
didn't
get
have
100 and some yards per game, right? Yeah.
I didn't have my big breakout game until I think it was our third or fourth game of the season. We opened up with the Giants. We won that game. I had 91 yards in that game. I forgot who played. I think the Saints. I had like 70, 80 or something else in that game, like 3 touchdowns. But
Uh-huh.
I think the next week we played the Jets, and that's when I had my big game. I had 199 yards on 30 carries. I think 2 touchdowns. And that one play you showed, what about an 80-yard touchdown run? In
Uh-huh.
fact, I was just talking to the guy last night, Leroy Irving, who played for the Rams with me as a defensive back, and he used to
Yeah, I
argue, he got
remember
run.
him. I played against
You know,
Leroy.
you're right. You played against Leroy,
Yeah, I
right?
played against y'all.
Yeah. I said, Leroy, you can't run me. He said, Eric, you too big. I said, Leroy, I can run. So we used to argue all the time. So we going over to play. We going over to play the Jets, and he tells this guy named Holmes. He said he's a defensive back. He run a 4-3. If you break, he'll catch you. I said he ain't gonna catch me. I trust me. I'm telling you, right. And sure enough, that play right there showed.
He ran
And
you down.
no, he did not run me down.
Did he run you down?
He blew a gasket. He blew a gasket. He ended up doing
Oh,
it
he was the
again.
one that, okay, he's the one that was flailing around trying to catch you. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, no.
I guess I noticed when you got loose, you didn't get caught.
Man,
There begins to be some separation.
Was Darryl Green.
Darryl Green, yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, yeah. But Darryl Green ran everybody down. So
I had no problem with that. Darryl was faster than me. I mean, I weighed there about 30 pounds. So hey, look,
listen, Darryl ran everybody down. I watched Darryl. I was with the Washington Redskins. Darryl Green was 40 years old, and I watched him run a 4.240 at 40 years old. I watched him with my own eyes.
It's funny you say that. We were at a golf tournament one day, and this guy gonna tell me who's the fastest guy in the NFL. I said that'll be Darryl Green. No, it's Dion or Bo. I said no, I'm telling you, it's Darryl Green. No, we are. I said I'm telling you. So he gets on his phone, he Googles and he looks up Darryl Green. He said, see right here, Darryl Green, a 4.3. I said, okay, how old was he when he ran that? He
Right.
said 50. I
He's
said,
50, yeah.
he ran at 50 years old. I said, Darryl was fast, man.
Yeah, I saw him run a 4.2 at 40.
We didn't have all that kind of stuff, all the stuff they have now, like the track man and all, really, keeping up how fast you are. Like he ran a 40 this or at 60 yards, he was going, 15 miles or 20 miles an hour. We didn't have all that kind of stuff.
No,
You were
no.
fast or you weren't fast.
We actually used training camp to get in shape.
Hey, you got that. A lot of us did. A lot of guys did. You got that.
Yeah, we didn't do all that training during the off season. We went and got in shape during training camp because we had 6 weeks of training camp, 2-3 hour practices twice a day. It's different today, man. They don't do that kind of stuff.
It's so different. I mean, the thing that makes it different to me is that, first of all, they don't hit. They don't hit at all, and I get it. I mean, you can't tackle, but you got to be able to hit some.
Right.
Get used to hit it. I mean, they don't do anything. I mean, we went to camp. Matter of fact, my rookie season, we went camp for 6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
We went camp 2 weeks before the veterans showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So when they showed up, I won't forget. It was like the 2 days before they showed up. We went full pads every day, morning and evening. It was killing me.
Yep.
So it was a guy named Otis Grant, went to Michigan State, and he was my friend. We was standing out there at practice, and I said, hey, Otis, I said, man, nice meeting you, brother. He said, what? I said, man, I'm out of here. He said, what?
I ain't doing this.
This is crazy, man. I said, this don't even make sense. I said, man, I'm leaving. I said, I'm quitting this. He said, really? I said, yep. I said, nice meeting you. So I won't forget. I went back to my room. After the morning practice, and I called my mother, and I said, and my mother raised me. She's really my great aunt, and so I said, Mom, she said, how's it going? I said, Mom, I said, it's crazy out here. And I told her, I said, we practice pads in the morning, in the evening. I said, I'm just gonna come home. She said, what? She said, boy, let me tell you
No,
something.
you ain't.
She said, first of all, I don't even like that crap. I don't like that crap. She said, but you ain't gonna quit. So you gonna stay your ass out there. You said, get your ass on back out there to practice this evening.
Did she say it like that? Did she say it like that?
She said it just like that. She said, get your ass in. She said, suck it up. She said, she said it. This is what you chose to do, so you get on back out there. And I won't get when I showed back up at practice, Otis was like, man, I thought you said you gonna quit. I said, man, my mama wouldn't let me. He laughed and told me, I said, yeah, I know. So
My mama wouldn't let me. What's the story with that too? Because you said it was your great aunt that raised you, and your mother actually lived right next door to you, and you didn't know it was your mother.
Yeah, well, my story is real complicated. Really, my
Do you
mother
mind? Do you
had,
mind sharing?
yeah, my mother got pregnant with me. I think she was 16 or 17 years old. She might have been 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
She told me, she said, first time I had sex and I get pregnant. That's what she told me. Uh,
That happens.
and so my great aunt had raised my mom too, raised her also. Because my real grandmother, which was my mom's mother, lived in Houston. She had two boys, and for some reason, she didn't want to raise a girl. I mean, and I know that's odd, but she didn't want to raise a girl. So she let my great great aunt, which is my mother's great aunt, Viola, adopt her and raise her. And so she raised her. And then when I was born, um, my mother, my biological mother, let them legally adopt me because she was too young. You know, she
Mm-hmm.
was, I think, 17, 8 years old. She was too young, but she got married, lived right next door. I mean, literally like 40 yards. And
Wow.
I thought, I was told she was my sister
Mm-hmm.
for a long time. A teacher was the one who told me. She said, I won't forget, I was in sixth grade. And she said, Eric, why don't you stay after class? I said, okay. She said, come up here. So I was sitting at my desk and she said, have you seen your daddy? I said, my dad at home. She said, no, boy, your real daddy. And I'm like, you know how it is in black communities in small
Yeah, I
towns.
know, but why would the teacher tell you that? What did she have permission from your family to tell
No,
you?
no, she didn't like, she was envious of my mother. She was
Okay,
envious of my,
she's being devilish.
devilish. Yeah, my mother was a really good looking woman. I'm saying she was tall. She was like, my mother was 5'11", really good looking.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she had a beautiful shape, everything. She said I had an hourglass shape when I was 14 to 15 years old. And
Wow.
so she told me, and I went home. My mom, my dad, which I call mom and dad, was my mom was Viola, my dad was Carrie Dickerson.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Mama, I said, who is Richard Seals? I'll never forget the look on. She said, what? Who told you that?
She exposed. She got
I
exposed.
said, I said, Miss Holiday, what did she tell you? Man, she went off. And my dad was real calm. He was sitting down, and she said, because she called my mother's nickname was Red. She said, Red, settle down now. What did that bitch tell you? And I'm like, she told her that you not my mama. She said, you my aunt, and that's not my dad is not my real dad. And so she called my mother who lived right next door. Never forget.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear the screen door. The
Yep.
screen door slam. She come running over there. What did she tell you? So I told her, I said that she said that you my mama, and this is not my mom. You my real mama. It's a man
Wow.
named Richard Sears, my dad. Ooh, boy, that caused some havoc. So I'm gonna tell you how bad it was. Matter of fact, my mother, my real mother, she was gonna go get a pistol. She wanted to going to get the pistol. She was gonna kill her. I mean, that's how bad it was. I mean, she went over to her house because her house was right
Wow.
straight across from our house, about 150 yards away. She
Wow.
walked across that field, and I could hear her beat on the window. You effing bitch! Don't you be telling them you bring your ass outside, you mom, man. Yeah, it caused a ruckus, but with me, it was okay. I mean, because man, I love my mom and dad. I really did. The
Right.
parents,
Right.
I love my real mother too. We were like brothers, since we were very very close.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny because when I got older, she would say, I remember when you tell me, because she would tell me to do something. I said, you're not my mama. And she would say, ooh. She
Yeah,
said,
she
so,
do.
ooh, I am your mama. But she never told me. I got to give her credit. She never told me.
Oh,
So
she never
that's how
told
bad.
you.
She
Wow.
never told me that. Like I said, I'm from a teacher, so that's how she never told
That
me.
te- that teacher. That's shame on that teacher. She was just trying to stir up some mess. Shame on
Yeah.
her. So your father. Now, I don't know. I guess this was your real father. He had a big influence on you, and one of his sayings to you was, "All you do with your might. Things done halves are never done right."
Yes, that was not that was my adopted father. That was my
That was your
dad,
adopted father told you. Okay.
Carrie
But that
Dickerson.
but that stuck with you, huh?
Oh man, that was his saying. He said, "Son, all that you do with your might. Things done by half are never done right." And I'll never forget. He used to say that to me over and over. And one day I was out there. I went to go. It was Saturday morning. I jumped up. I had to cut the yard. He told me to make
Mm-hmm.
sure I cut the yard tomorrow. And back in the day we had push lawnmower, no riding lawnmower, and we had a big piece of property, almost an acre.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "Get out there and cut the yard tomorrow." So I had to get up early, go out there and cut the yard. And I'm about to put the lawnmower up. And he said, "What you doing?" I said, I cut the yard. He said, tell me, look at that yard. Man, it was patches everywhere.
You,
He said, boy, what did I tell you? I said, what? He said, son, all that you do, do what you might. It ain't done by halves and never done right. He said, you half did that. He said, get out there and cut the whole yard again. Oh man, I learned my lesson that day from my
wow,
dad. Yeah,
wow.
from my. But I'll tell you, my real father now. Like I said, he played football. I didn't know this till later.
Hmm.
Uh, but his brothers played football. They went to Prairie View University. So Emmett Thomas, Hall of Famer
Yeah,
Emmett
Emmett
Thomas.
Thomas. He was
Emmett,
DB coach here when I was in Philly.
right? Okay, so we were in we were in St. Louis playing the Cardinals, and me and Roy Green were friends.
Hmm.
And Roy comes over to me. This was before the game. It was you go in shorts and just t-shirts. He said, Eric, he said, Emmett Thomas want to meet you. He said he's in the locker room. He want to talk to you. He said he knows some of your people from Sealy. I'm like, oh, okay.
Hmm.
So he came out there and I met. He said, Eric, he said, I'm Emmett Thomas. I said, how you doing? He said, I'm from Texas. He says, you from Sealy? I said, yeah, I'm from Sealy. He said, your grandmother's from Houston? I said, yeah. He said, her name Johnny Mae Shaver's your real grandmother? I said, yeah. She got two brothers, Sam and Jack. I said, yep. And her husband's name Horace. I said, yeah. He said, now let me ask you this. This might be too personal. He said, the lady that raised you, is her name, they call her Miss Red? I said, yeah. He said, now I'm gonna ask you something. He said, if it's too personal, you ain't got to answer. I said, okay. He said, your real dad named Richard Seals? I say, yes, it is. He said, I knew it. He said, Eric, he said, let me tell you something, son. He said, you don't even know this. He said, boy, them were some runners. He said, you run just like your daddy.
Right, right.
He said that I played football against him. He said he told me he got a girl and Sealy pregnant, but I kind of lost touch with him. I hadn't seen him. He said like 20 some years.
Hmm.
He said, when I saw you run on film, he said, I looked at you. I said, I looked at the way you ran. I looked at your birthday. He said, it's got to be him. And he said, I said, it's me. He said, you run just like them. See, he said they big. Cause my real dad's about 6'2". His brother's like 6'4". He said they were
Wow,
big, fast. I said, well, yeah, that's me.
wow, wow. So talking about your running, okay, we're not even going to get into your SMU days. I played with Craig James. You played with Craig James. You guys, were doing your thing over there at SMU. Actually, I do want to talk about SMU because I think it was your senior year, I believe it was, that you guys thought you should have won the national championship. Your record was undefeated. You had one tie, and they gave the
Right.
national championship to Penn State. Well, we were arguing at the same time because we were 12. No, we were 11-1. We lost one game that year, and that was to Penn State. And had they had replay back then, we would have won that game because they
What you go to school? What you go to college?
Nebraska.
Nebraska. That's right. He went to Nebraska.
Nebraska, yeah.
Yeah.
So we argue that we should have won the national championship in '83 because they gave it to Penn State. We won our bowl game against LSU, but they gave the national championship to Penn State because they beat us up at Penn State earlier that year. That was the only game we lost, but they won the game because they gave a catch to the tight end in the end zone that he
In the
didn't
end zone.
catch. He didn't catch it.
Wasn't no catch.
No, it
Wasn't no
wasn't no
catch.
catch. It was clearly, when they showed it up on screen, it was clearly no catch, but they didn't turn things over back then. They didn't overrule things. So we actually won that game. So we were mad at that time too. But y'all were the Pony Express, and I guess you were kind of grateful because of that, because when you went into the pros, you were sharing time with Craig James. I played with Craig in the Super Bowl. I played with Craig up in New England. I used to train with him a little bit too down in Texas, Plano, Texas. But you shared time with him, and you kind of went into the pros fresh. You
Yeah, I
didn't
mean,
get so much wear and tear.
when I got to the NFL, I had no injuries. Like I had
Right.
I never had a surgery. I still haven't had a surgery. Knock on wood, thank God. But I had no injuries. I wasn't beat up. I didn't have a lot of carries on me. So I was, it was all good for me. But going back to that national championship thing, um, man, we had two great football teams back to back. My junior year, we went 11-1. We lost to Texas
Hmm.
on three 50-yard field goals. Erskine kicked. It was 9-7. That was a
Wow.
defensive game,
Wow.
and we lost that. We lost that game, but we were on a bull crap probation because of Texas because we beat them the year before in Texas up in Austin. They were ranked number 2. We weren't even ranked. We both had 6-0 record. We went there and beat them 20-6. And then they came, at Monday morning, the NCAA was at the university investigating. And they put us on a soft probation that we couldn't be on national television. We couldn't be in
Right.
bowl game. We won the conference. So our senior year, Ron Meyer left. I wish Ron would have been there. First of all, if Ron would have been there, it would have been no tie. We'd have beat Arkansas. Arkansas had a great football team. I got to give it to them. They had as much talent as we had.
Mm-hmm.
They had Duckworth. They had Gary Anderson. I can't think of the defensive player they had. They went to San Diego Chargers in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great football team, but
Mm-hmm.
we were the only undefeated team. And that year, they kept saying that Joe Paterno deserves a national championship because he's never won one. And that was, to me, that was a bunch of bull.
So they just gave it to him, huh?
Man, we'd have beat the hell out of Penn State. I'm serious. We'd have beat Georgia, too. We didn't care who we played.
I don't know if y'all would have beat us, though. You wouldn't have beat us.
Oh, no, we'd have beat y'all. I
don't know if you'd have beat us, man.
That defense, all right, we played Reno. We played damn Reno there in the Cotton Bowl.
In Pittsburgh? You played Pittsburgh? Yeah?
Yeah, we held them to 3 points. That defense we had, first of all, they were dirty as hell. You know Wes Hopkins. Remember Wes?
Wes, yeah.
We had it. They were physical. They were dirty with us. That's how dirty they were. But
I don't know, man. I don't know if you could stop Turner Gill, Mike Rozier, and Irving Fryar, Doc. We were called the triplets.
Who gonna stop us?
Well, I mean, we had a decent defense, but we would out.
We had a great defense.
Nah, I don't know, Doc. I think it would have been. We can't roll back the hand of time, but I don't know. We would never find out. You broke you broke a lot of records when you were running the ball, and I know we got to get you out of here, but you broke a lot of records when you were in the NFL. When you broke OJ's record in 1984, 2,105 yards, they gave you a carrot cake.
You really have done your homework.
Yeah, they gave you. What's up with that, man? What did they give OJ when he broke the record? What did they give him?
A Hertz commercial, but I got a carrot cake.
That's right. He got a Hertz commercial.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you.
They gave you a carrot. What was up with that, man? They gave you a carrot. They gave you a carrot cake.
Adidas was my sponsor. And I went there. They had this big ceremony they wanted to do over at the complex. I forgot we were playing the Giants the next week in the playoffs or whatever. They come over with this big ass cake, and I'm allergic to nuts, so I couldn't even eat the cake. And I'll never forget. Walter Payton got a Lamborghini for
Walter Payton, yeah.
Yeah. Walter, my friend, and they put the cake, blow him and lit it, and I won't forget. Dennis Harris said, "What the hell is this? This a cake?" He says, "Is it a key in the cake or something?" It was really embarrassing. I mean, I still think what a slap in the face, man. Like I said, you get 2,000 yards, and you get a carrot cake from your sponsor. That's what I got.
That's ridiculous. That was ridiculous. But they didn't take away from you, bro. You were the man back. You were on Soul Train. I saw you dancing on Soul Train. Don't laugh. I saw you dancing on Soul Train.
Hey, brother, let me tell you something. You probably too. Think about it.
I wasn't on Soul Train.
But I'm just saying, Soul Train was the thing to watch.
Well, yeah.
Think about it. I was a kid back in Sealy, and when I got a chance to be on Soul Train, you kidding me? Remember the Asian girl had the long hair, was had the real long? I'll never forget that. And I'm like, oh my God.
Was you dancing with her?
I don't know who I danced with, but I sure was looking at her. Yeah, I mean, I remember that. Yeah. Don Cornelius, yeah.
I'm looking at stuff. I'm doing some research. I'm like, this cat was on Soul Train. He on the dancing. You know where else I saw you too?
Where?
You know where else I saw you, right?
I don't
Playgirl
know
magazine.
Oh my God! I told you were gonna bring that crap up. Anyway, I wasn't naked in that.
No, you wasn't naked. Let's get it straight. No, he wasn't naked, y'all. But he surely was in Playgirl magazine.
Yeah, man. I hate these matter of fact, I was in Canada.
How did they talk you into that?
I don't know how in the hell the PR department talked me to that crap. But then the guy kept saying, "You may just take it." I said, "Man, look." I said, "I'm not taking nothing. No, I'm not taking my underwear. I'm not doing that crap. I'm not doing that deal." Right. No, you had swim trunks or something on, didn't you? Yeah, I had underwear. I had my underwear.
Just underwear, okay.
So anyway, so I'm in Canada. This is probably 15 years after that. You know, I'm retired, and I'm in a gift shop, and this lady, older lady, she says, "You Eric Dickerson, aren't you?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I am." She said, "Ooh, I got that Girl magazine." She said, "You some kind of pine." Man, Irvin, when I tell you, if I was white, I would have been red as I don't know what. I was so embarrassed. Man, people was laughing. Like, "Can I take a picture with you?" I'm like, man, I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I never forgot that. So, yeah, I was in that damn magazine.
I told you were the man, bro. You were the man.
Yeah.
Listen, before I let you go, there was a point in your career, and don't misinterpret any of this. This cat right here that's on the screen next to me, this dude's the real deal. He's one of the best running backs to ever put a football uniform on and carry the football out of the backfield into the end zone. Hats off. Hats off. He's in the top 2 or 3 all time ever, and will always remain there. It's still got records in the NFL. But at one point, you want to try to get a little more money. You realize, when you first got to the NFL, you're like, okay, how much they gonna pay? But then you realized your worth, and you were trying to get paid, and the Rams didn't want to pay you. End up going to the Colts, and things, you didn't last there, but you did all right there with the Colts. But you ended up kind of having a bittersweet relationship with the NFL. At one point, you weren't too happy with the NFL. You kind of didn't. You had a distaste in your mouth about NFL football. But I guess at some point it came around and you began to love the game again. Talk about
Well,
that whole experience and that transition.
I'll tell you still, I still have love hate relationship with the NFL. And I think my love hate relationship with the NFL is because, you know, I've never always been about me. I mean, it's never about me. It's about your team and the guys you work with, even though you got to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
And but for my love hate with them right now is that I don't like the way they treat retired players. I just don't like it. I just think it's wrong. I mean, they make so much money. Like, think about it. The players have we have no health care. When I retired, we had no health care. I paid my own health care. If you can afford
Right.
it, a lot of guys couldn't. The guys today, they have health care for 5 years after they retire. Now, what the hell is that all about? We're the only sport that does that.
Right.
You play 15 years and say you retired 35, where you got health care till you're 40, and then you're on your own. I mean, in the most brutal sport of all. So
Mm-hmm.
that is really my love hate with them. But I just feel like they're greedy as hell. They don't treat the player. Players have so many problems after they get out of the sport. And the NFL, I always say this: look, you can't take care of everyone, and I can understand that. But you really need to take care of the guys that really need the help. And I'm big on that. And that's
Mm-hmm.
just my thing. Playing with the Rams, I mean, I want to be a Ram my whole career, but man, the Rams. And then you come to find out later, they didn't have a lot of money, but man, I was making $150,000, and I was the second pick in the draft. My year around 2000, I was making 175. I was like the 40th paid highest paid player in the league, and I'm doing all this, and
Mm-hmm.
they made me out this. I'm the bad guy. I'm the greedy. I'm about the money. I just want to be paid right. That was all. I told him, just pay me right. I'll
Right.
give you. I'll tell you what. I went down there with the general manager, John Shaw. It was in '86. I just led the league in rushing. I had 1,821 yards and had 14 touchdowns, 5.6 yards a carry.
Wow.
And so,
Nobody's doing that today. Nobody's doing that today.
no, they don't do that today. And so I go meet with him. It took me. And think about this. Here. Think about it. Took me like a month to get a meeting scheduled with him because he's trying to avoid me. So I met him after the season. I go in the office and he said, so Eric, what do you want to talk about? I said, John, I want to talk about my contract, man. I said, my contract is it's no good. I said, how have I played this contract? Well, Eric, you got a contract, got 2 more years left on it. I'm like, John, I said, but I'm not making no money. I said, and then I make a long story short. I said, I'll tell you what. I said, I'll make a deal with you. I said, pay me like Dan Marino and Elway. I said, they make $1,000,005. I said, give me $1,000,005. I said, give me $1,000,000. I said, and I'll even make it better. I said, if I rush for 1,500 yards, think about that.
Mm-hmm.
1,500 yards in the NFL, I gave him the number. I said, if I rush for 1,500 yards, you pay me over $1,000,000. If not, I go back to my old contract. I'll never. He sit there. No, we're not
Wow.
gonna do that.
Wow.
After that, I'm like, well, this ain't gonna work. I mean, and that's what it just fell apart at that point. I was really disheartened with them. I mean, I love playing for the Rams. I didn't want to go to the Colts, man. I didn't even knew nothing about Indianapolis. You know where I wanted to go? I wanted to go to the Redskins where my cousin Dexter Manley was, because he called
Oh,
me. He
okay.
said, Eric, man, I heard we trying to get you. I said, man, I know. And he said these words. Your man ain't gonna let that happen. That's too much like right. Here, we win a Super Bowl over here with you. They won a Super Bowl anyway, but I, like I said, I still, I love the sport, and the sad thing is, and I say this all the time about it, the NFL makes you hate a sport that you loved so much.
Hmm.
I loved everything about football. You don't hate the sport; you just hate the way they make you feel. To make the way they
Right.
make you look at yourself. I mean, and I'm not the only. I mean, you
No,
talk to
I'm
so
with you,
many.
bro. No, I'm
Thank
with
you.
you.
You
I
know what I'm
agree with
talking
what you
about.
said 100%.
You talk to
I'm just
so
glad
many
you're
guys.
saying it.
You
Yeah.
talk to so many guys. Matter of fact, they had me do a survey at the Hall of Fame. This is about 8 years ago. It was late. The girl called me from the NFL. Tracy Perlman called me. She said,
Hmm.
Eric, can you do something? I said, yeah. She said, they want to do a survey how you feel about the NFL. I said, what? I said, with me?
You don't want to do this?
She said, yeah. I said, Tracy. She said, I know. I said, okay. I said, so it's going to be a guy and a girl going to meet you. I said, we're playing golf in the morning. I said, they can meet me for breakfast and I'll meet them out in the back. She said, okay. So sure enough, we're Glenmore golf course at the resort.
Hmm.
And the girl and the guy. And so they asked me the question, so how do you feel about the NFL? I said, oh, let me ask you a question. The NFL itself or the players? She said, well, how do you feel about the players first? I said, I love the players. I said,
Hmm.
I said, look, it's like any job. You got guys you don't like. I said, but most of the players, you love them. You have a utmost respect for the players
Hmm.
and the guys you play with. She said, okay, so how do you feel about the NFL? I said, the NFL. I told her just like that. I said, I hate them, mother. I said they are the biggest criminals and pimps of all. I said, I'm not
Yeah.
lying. I said, I hate her. And I told her why I hated her. I said,
Hmm.
no health care, the pension is terrible. I said, you got these cronies that run around because they work for the league, think they're better than you. I said, and
Right.
it's terrible.
Yeah.
So I was playing with LT and Richard Denton Marcus. So
Hmm.
LT came by. I said, asked him the same question. I said, Mr. Taylor, can I ask you a question? He said, you know how LT was. Yeah, what? He said, how do you feel about the NFL? He said, I hate them. Man,
Yeah.
he went
Yeah.
off. F the
LT was the
NFL.
wrong one to ask.
Man, every guy said the same thing pretty much. Marcus was a little more diplomatic. He said, I don't like him. I mean, but that's the sad part about it, Irving. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is pitiful. But I'll say this here, and I'm gonna stop with it. I did an interview with a guy on the phone, white guy, and he says this to me. He says, Eric, he says, because I for book, I was talking about my book. He said, let me ask you a question. He says, you probably know I'm white. I said, I can tell you white. He said,
Hmm.
I'm gonna say this to you. He says, the NFL is what, 80% black? I said, yeah, about 80% black. He says, now, you know this. I said, I'm gonna say it. He said, if the NFL was 80% white, he said, y'all would have good health care and a good pension. He
Of
said,
course.
he said, I know that. I said, you white, you know it. I said,
Right.
we black, we know it too. So anyway, I mean, it's not to play the race card, nothing like that, but it's just the truth. I mean, this is a white man. He said
Hmm.
it to me. He said, I'm
Hmm.
white, and I know that y'all would have, if the league was mostly white, y'all would have good health care and good pension. I said, yeah, but anyway, we don't. So you have to make it what you do, Irving. Like I say, man, I thank God I had a chance to play football and the things I got a chance to do. And I think the most important thing for me is that I got a chance to do things for my mom that both of my mothers, Viola and Helen, that I could not have done if I didn't play football. So
Right.
that
Right.
for that reason alone, I would go do it again for my mom
Hmm.
for sure, no, hands down.
Same
So
thing. My mama's watching right now. I still take care of my mama. I've been taking care of my mama ever since I've gotten to the NFL. So
and that
yeah.
and that's what, and you know what, that's what a good son does.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
that's
We're
what that's
supposed
what
to
a good
do.
son does.
That's what we're
Yeah.
supposed to do. That yeah, the NFL is just I don't even want to get into it. You said it
It's too much to get into
yeah,
because
you
the
said
minute
it.
that
You said it perfect. You said it
you
perfect.
know it,
But
you know how they are.
here's what I'm gonna ask you to do. You gonna help, and not now, but you gonna help me get into the Hall of Fame.
Hey, brother,
I've
no
been I've
problem.
been on the ballot 4 times now. I'm gonna ask a favor of you. Not right now, but I'll call you and ask you.
Call me and tell me what you need. I got to tell you a quick story about yourself. I'll never forget. We playing.
Uh oh. Uh oh.
We had
Should I
three
give? Wait a
games
minute.
left.
Should I give you? Should I give you the screen? I'm gonna give you the whole screen. Go ahead. Tell the
Give
story.
me the screen. I think we had 3 games left. We played Philly. We lost to Philly. We lost to Philly and Philly. We played y'all. We had y'all beat. We had
I was
y'all
in New England. I was in New England at
You
the
were New
time.
England, right? We had
Yeah.
y'all beat. Last play of the game, throw a damn Hail Mary. I will never forget it. I'm like, ain't this a bitch? Caught the ball. I'm like, this some shit. Man, that was me. You talking about, boy, you crushed.
Uh oh. Where'd he go? Oh, there you go.
You crushed us. And then we had to go down to New Orleans and win that game to get into the playoffs. But I got to say, Irvin, man, for you, man, you're a great football player. I love watching you play. You played the game like it was supposed to be played. And, great receiver. Could take them hits too, brother. You could take them hits. If we didn't
Well,
want to get them, you just take them.
no, I tried to catch the ball and get my feet on the ground and initiate contact. I always tried to do that because rather than absorbing it. Because if you,
Right.
like as a back, if you could initiate the contact, even though the guy's bigger, he may be bigger, stronger. If you could initiate contact, you're not absorbing the contact, and you're less likely to get hurt.
Get hurt, right?
Less likely to
Yep.
get hurt. So, but yeah, man, it's been real, brother. I listen. First of all, I appreciate you taking my phone call. I appreciate you communicating with me. Sometimes this doesn't happen. Every now and then I run across some cat that's played in the NFL, and I try to, get them on my podcast, and they want to act all new. They want to act all big time. Like, I ain't never been in the NFL before. I played 17 years in the NFL, and most of them are still trying to do what we've done before. But so I really do. You didn't have to do this. You did it. You didn't big time me. You're just the dude. You're a regular guy who appreciates the fellowship, who appreciates the relationship, who has respect for the game. I would want to ask you this, though. What do you think's going on right now in the NFL with the running backs? They're kind of disrespecting the running backs in terms of salaries, in terms of value.
That nonsense started a couple of years ago, about,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, 10 years ago, I think, where Mel Kiper kind of started that you don't need a running back. You can stick anybody in that position,
Right.
and you can just swap them out. You can rotate backs, and I'm like, that's not true. I mean, if you don't have a back, a guy that you think that's a great back or you can count on, then it's different. It's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing with quarterback. I mean, they paying these, and I'm telling you, they paying these bum ass quarterbacks. That's a bunch of bum ass quarterbacks.
You just got one out there at the Raiders that just Gardner Minshew got a big old $100 and some million contract. Oh my gosh, it's
Man,
ridiculous.
like I say, man, just a bunch of bum, man. Like the boy in Tennessee what's that boy in Tennessee with Derrick Henry? They paid him, but they never paid Derrick Henry.
What was it? Tannehill?
Tannehill.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I'm like, he is trash. Just like
Look.
the boy. What's his name? He's a rookie. What's his name? Wilson and the Jets.
Uh
Horrible. Now I saw what they talking about. They were trying to bring him to the Rams. I said, please do not bring him here. He can't hit the side of a bomb.
Wow.
Trubisky. I saw Trubisky play his first game in Chicago.
Uh-huh.
And I was Richard Dent. He had 4 touchdowns. Irving, he should have had 10, and I'm not exaggerating.
Wow.
That's how open. I said, Richard, I said, he's horrible.
Wow.
He said, no, it's young. I said, Richard, he can't hit the side of the ball. He's terrible. I
He
said,
got four. He got 4
terrible.
easy ones. Yeah, he got 4 easy ones.
He's
Wow.
terrible. But anyway, before going back to the running back position, I just feel like that, they're trying to devalue it because they can. They don't want to have to pay him. But look, when it comes down to playoff time and winning football games, close games, you got to have the running game. You got to run the football. How do you think Kansas City won that football game?
That's right.
Running that
That's
football,
right.
Pacheco, running the football. Why do you think San Francisco got there?
Running the ball.
To run the game.
That's right.
Running the football. The good football team, even us, the Rams this year, I got to say that I thought that we would probably win I told them, I said, we probably won 5 games max.
Mm-hmm.
Max. We're not winning 10 because you know what? We ran the football with Kylan Williams. We finally ran the football, started running the football. We had Todd Gurley. We ran the football back in the Super Bowl year.
Mm-hmm.
Todd ran the football. But, man, they don't, they want to throw it. They think it's fancy, all that. Look how smart I am. Look at this motion I did. I mean, you got to run the football.
Listen, I think the game will never change with regards to that aspect of the game. In order to win, and it's been proven, like you said, with the Chiefs, with the 49ers, in order to win in the league, one, you have to be able to run the ball. Not all the time, but you have to be able to run the ball because the run sets up the pass. The run sets up play action. And they do a lot of play action in the league right now. And you have to be able to stop the run on defense. You
got to be able to stop it. You got to. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask you this question, see if you even know. McCaffrey led the league in rushing this year.
Yeah.
When's the last time a white running back led the league in rushing? I asked him on radio.
Last time?
Everybody was stumped. They're like,
the last time a white, was it Larry Zonka?
Nope. Somebody said, I always say Larry Zonka.
Was it the cat from the running back from the Redskins? What was his name?
Riggins?
Riggins, yeah.
John Riggins?
Yeah, was it him? Yeah, was it him? No?
Wasn't he John Riggins? Jim Taylor, 1962, Green Bay Packers.
Wow. Jim Taylor, 62. I was born in 62.
I was born in 60.
Good Lord.
So that's the last time a white.
But you're talking about the percentage of black athletes in the NFL. There's a position in the NFL right now where there are no white guys. There are no white players that play the position.
Corner.
Yep, corner. Yep, corner.
Yep. I'm telling you, yeah, cornerback.
They can't.
Cornerback. I mean, it's only really one white running back, McCaffrey. I mean, that's it. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
I call him white chocolate.
White chocolate. Oh, that boy bad now. That's a bad boy. He can do it all. Run, catch, and got a little strength to him, got some speed to him. He's elusive. Yeah, he's got all the things you need. All the things. Well, listen, go on to play your golf, man. I know you're trying to get out to the golf course. He said, thank you. But see, he gonna sit. Look, he gonna sit there till I let him go. He gonna stay there till I let him go. I know he's trying to he's out in California, y'all. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I'm gonna holler at you though, because I do need you to do me a favor.
Just call me, brother.
I will. I will. Okay. All right. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for being on. All right. God bless.
All right. Bye.
Let me come on back with me. Yeah, I didn't want to. I'm sorry I didn't give any of you an opportunity to ask any questions. I knew he was only going to be with me for a little while. Actually, I kept him longer than he said he was going to stay. He originally said he was only going to stay, only had about a half an hour, but he's going out to play golf. But great guest. That was a great time. Listen, hold on. I need you to stay right there. I got something I want to share with you when we come back. But we got to pay some bills. We got to watch some of these commercials. Y'all watch these commercials. Don't go anywhere. I see how many are on right now. Don't y'all go nowhere. Just.
Or a night out. Don't bother with the hassle of driving, parking, and traffic. Just call Ed's Smooth Transport. One-way or round trips available. We will take you there. And we will also pick you up. Enjoy a night on the town with Ed's Smooth Transport. Call us 609-471-2653 or 609-314-6619. Visit our website to take advantage of our monthly specials at www.smooftransport.com. Ed's Smooth Transport, where experience meets comfort.
Because this is somewhat greatness, and this is what we do.
Yeah, we're back. I I didn't want to play the commercials because I didn't want to use up any of the time that I had Eric on live with us. So I played the commercials at the end. I didn't want to do it in the middle of the show because it was a great interview, y'all. He's just sharing information that, personal information about growing up and his family and, talking about the league. And just that was, I told you, y'all sleeping on the Fryar place, y'all. You're sleeping on the Fryar place. This is where the conversations, you see it right there, where the conversations, let me say over there. Yeah, right there. This is where the conversations are fire. That was just great. Krista Hughes, I see you. Keenan Harmon, shout out to you. Lester Shelley, shout out to you. Troy Oglesby, shout out to you. Stu Winrow, bless you, bro. Shout out to you. David Hunt is in the house. Shout out to you. Junior Taylor, yes, sir, to you too. Rochelle Chavez, yep. Shout out to you. Who else? Junior Taylor, 19 EDC. Soul Train. Yeah. Mama, yep. That's all he got when he beat the record, when he broke the record, was a carrot cake. That was it. Ed Crawley is in the house. Keenan Jenkins is in the house. Shout out to you. Monty Weaver. James Hicks, what's going on, big dog? Shout out to you, brother. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for being on. Thanks for putting in the comments. Vinny Capriati, shout out to you. Island Smoothies and Salads. Keenan Harmon, shout out to you. Just Troy again. Dancing Hanson is in the house. Shout out to you, Dancing Hanson. Richard Melton. And I'm sorry, again, I apologize for not taking the time. Walter Ray, hey, bro, what's going on? I apologize for not taking the time to allow you all to ask Eric a question or two. I wanted to get to my questions. I did research and stuff, and I wanted to get to my questions. And most of my questions I didn't even get to. It just kind of flowed. Great interview, great podcast. I'm not going to say any more because I'll mess it up. But listen, thank you all for supporting the Fryar Place. Yep. This is where the conversations are fire. Let me get my face up in here so the camera can focus. This is where the conversations are fire. We're here every Friday night at 6 p.m. We're live at the Cigar Code every first Friday of every month at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. April 5th, our guest will be none other. It was supposed to be Jeremiah Trotter. Jeremiah had something come up, so he won't be available. But we do have Barrett Brooks. He'll be with us live at the Cigar Code on April 5th from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. We look forward to seeing all of you there. We have a great time there. Live guests, live audience, we get it in. Again, the Fryar Place, where the conversations are fire. I appreciate you supporting. It's past our time. It's been an hour. It's past 7 o'clock. So we'll see you next week. Same time, same place, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Shout out to all of you. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you, Eric Dickerson, for being on today. NFL Hall of Famer. Did y'all hear his stats earlier? He's like still leading the league, the NFL, in some statistics in terms of running backs. Most yards in a playoff game. Most yards for a rookie in a rookie season, 1,808 yards. Most yards in a season, 2,105 yards. No one has broken that record yet. I'm just proud to say I know him. Listen, y'all. See y'all next week. God bless you all. Stay safe. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Stay out of trouble. Mind your business. All that kind of stuff. All right, love y'all. Appreciate you. Take care. We'll see you next week.